and welcome to Cultural Big Bang. I'm your host, Stacy Spivey. If you weren't with us last week, we were talking about the largest population in the world, China. We got to try on some traditional clothing and we learned some martial arts. But this week, we're going to talk about the largest minority group in America, and that is the Hispanic culture. So today, we're going to learn about the Hispanic culture, and we're going to learn about some of the traditional clothing and taste some of the traditional foods. But first off, we're going to start talking with the Executive Director of the Hispanic Community Services here in Jonesboro, and her name is Gina Gomez. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me. Hola.
Oh, nice to meet you. So first off, I want to learn about the different countries around the world that represent Hispanic culture. Could you tell me about them?
Well, there are about 21 different countries whose primary language is Spanish, and we have representation for about 10 to 15 of them here in Jonesboro on the Northeast Arkansas.
Okay, could you name some of those for us? Just so
yes, we have Colombia, Mexico, Argentina, Honduras, Nicaragua.
Okay, So which country are you from?
I'm originally from Colombia.
Okay, how long have you been here in America?
I've been living here for 13 years.
Okay, all right, so can you tell me the differences between living in a Hispanic culture and then living in an American culture?
Well, I think that it is pretty common for us as Hispanics to be really family-oriented. No matter what country you are from, that's a characteristic that we have for the Hispanic culture. We have a big respect for the elderly, as well as we are really community-oriented. When somebody is in need of something, they will find someone willing to help. And that's, I think that is really basic here when you come to a country where you sometimes you are not able to communicate in the language, or when you just don't know how the system works. It's important to be able to find somebody from your culture willing to help you and willing to assist you, or just to give you an advice and orientation on probably situations that they have faced. I think that there are also very positive aspects from the American culture that you get to learn when you come here. For my experience working at the Hispanic Center and also as an international student when I first came to Arkansas State University, I think that people is really willing to give to others. It's just something that you have on you. People is always really, they are always really interested in volunteer work, what makes a big difference with us. Usually in our countries, for probably the situation that we live on, and things are really hectic and hard to get, people don't really give importance to volunteer activities, giving back to your community or things like that, and that's something that I have learned here in America.
I guess that we would call that the Southern hospitality here. Wanting to volunteer and everything.
Yes, there is always someone that is willing to help you or willing to give you economic support, like in the case of the Hispanic Center. We always find somebody willing to give us, and also I have learned to give back to the community here in the States.
Okay, can you tell me specifically what is the Hispanic Community Service? What do y'all do?
The Hispanic Community Services, well, it began as an outreach program from the Catholic Church in Jonesboro. Then it was in 1997 when it was opened, and then in 2003 we became a nonprofit, non-denominational organization. We serve the Hispanic community through 5 different areas: social, legal, educational, cultural, and health related. And then under each of those categories we have different services that we provide for the community. Some examples of that, we offer in the educational area, we offer Spanish classes, English classes, life skills, citizenship, computer classes. We also offer an after-school program for children, kindergarten through 6th grade, where we try to assist the families and work together with the different school districts in Jonesboro. Just teamwork, trying to improve the quality of life of those kids and trying to provide them better opportunities than what they had in their countries before coming to the States.
So this service, is this free to everyone, or?
We have different services that are free, but also we charge a small amount for some of the services that we provide as well.
Okay, I think that's a great idea to have that program here, especially because I know in Arkansas and even on our campus, you see a lot of Hispanics here.
Yes, since I first moved here to the States, the Hispanic population has grown tremendously in the Northeast Arkansas. I can say when the Hispanic Center was open, we estimate that there were about 300 Hispanic living in Jonesboro. Now, based on the people that we serve, and also people that participate in the different events that we sponsor. We believe we have about 6,000 Hispanics in Jonesboro and an average of 10 to 12,000 Hispanics in the Northeast Arkansas.
So it has grown a lot since you've been here. Okay. Can you tell me how your service helps Hispanics adjust to the United States and the American culture and lifestyle?
Well, as I said before, I think it's really important to have a place that you can trust, that you can be confident they are willing to help you, and there is no other interest than help people. And we have, really, when we have somebody new in town, pretty much people, they already know about the existence of the Hispanic Center. They will come looking for any type of service that they are looking for. Also, for example, we offer the educational system in our countries is different from what it is in the United States. So it's really neat to have a place where you can go and have somebody to explain in your language how everything working here. Or if there are no possibilities to get the service provided in our facility, we have partnerships with different organizations, and that helps our clients to get the service that they need.
Yeah, I can see that would be a huge help to them, and it seems like it's kind of a home away from home. It's a place that they can come to and feel comfortable.
Yes, and sometimes you just see people come to the Hispanic Center, they just need somebody to talk to. They miss family, well, when you come to a different country, you miss your food, you miss your family, your relatives, your friends. I mean, it's not easy, the transition. And it's just great to have a place where you can go and share your experiences, and where you have people that have gone through the same situations and is able to share information with you. So I think that is very positive for our community. We also work with city government, and I think that is essential for the integration of the Hispanic community into the Jonesboro community to have the Hispanic Center here. We are very blessed to have it here.
Yeah, so you were saying it's a very hard transition. What do you think is the hardest part about the transition from a Hispanic culture to America?
I think the language barrier.
The language barrier.
Yes. At this time, we have a lot of problems with immigration. That's a hot topic. It's not easy to live thinking about what is going to happen tomorrow, and not being able to decide what you really want to do in your life just because you have to depend on some documentation. So that's something that a lot of Hispanics struggle with. But when you think in the services that Hispanic community services provide for the Hispanic culture, a lot of most of the services that we provide are related to the communication issue.
Okay, so I want you to tell me a little bit about your country. You know, some traditional food and clothing. Just tell me about Colombia.
Well, Colombia is a wonderful country, very pretty. We have a lot of mountains that I really miss. We are very colorful, very happy people. Dance is something that is very traditional. When we celebrate, it doesn't have to be a special reason to celebrate. We love to party. We are really happy people. We are very family oriented, very religious oriented. We give a lot of importance to education. No matter your socioeconomic status, education is a key for us and for our families. Sometimes it is hard that you don't have the possibilities. There's a lot of people that they don't have the possibility to attend college, but that's something that we really appreciate. What else can I say about my food? It's very similar to Mexican food. We use very similar ingredients, but the difference is that our food is not spicy at all. We use a lot of fruits as well. We use a lot of salads. but basically we use tomatoes and rice and onions and the same ingredients that you can find in the Mexican food. We use it as well for Colombian food.
Well, it sounds like a great country, and hopefully I could travel there someday. It sounds wonderful.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being on our show today. It was so nice to meet you.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me.
And we will be right back after the break.
The State Parks of Arkansas. 52 parks. 4 beautiful seasons to experience them. Sponsored by this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and your Arkansas State Parks, making beautiful memories.
Welcome back to Culture Big Bang. I'm here with an ASU student, and his name is Juan Robles. He is the past president of the group called OLA. Okay, can you tell us what OLA is?
Well, OLA stands for Hispanic Outreach and Latino Appreciation. We changed our name last year from SALSA.
From salsa to OLA?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so can you tell me about where you're from? Are you from Mexico?
No, I'm originally from Chicago. My parents are from Mexico. They're from the central area, Aguascalientes and Zacatecas.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So can you tell me about your country's culture, about Mexico?
Well, honestly, I've only been to Mexico twice in my life. The first time when I was 6 months old, and the second time was when I was in 6th grade. And I can honestly say that it's just very family-oriented. Everybody just has this bond of, the tradition just bonds everybody. Everybody's really, close. The communication is really good. You stay connected with generations that are three generations down. It's just very oriented, family-oriented.
Do you see yourself going back there?
Honestly, no.
No.
No, I'm Americanized.
You are?
But I see myself visiting, but not moving down there or anything like that.
So what's your favorite part about Mexico?
My favorite part about Mexico, well, since I've only been there, twice, it was just a lot of family visiting, a lot of sightseeing, a lot of music and dancing, a lot of festivities. That's what I like about Mexico.
Yeah, it's good to see your culture and your background, see where it all comes from.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so can you explain the difference between, Mexico and then other Hispanic countries?
Well, a lot of people think that, you are not American, you're obviously Hispanic, you must be from Mexico. But that is not the case. There are so many countries. For some reason, Salvadorians always seem to get confused with Mexicans, and people get very ticked off when that happens. But yeah, Mexicans, that's the vast majority here in the United States, so I can see where that could confuse some people. But our culture, I think, is very similar to other Hispanic cultures. Like I said, the family, it's a very important part of our lives. Music, the food, it all brings us together.
It seems like festivals are very important.
Yes.
Yeah, can you tell me about some of the festivals that, you have in Mexican tradition?
Well, obviously, the Cinco de Mayo thing is a big thing here in the United States.
Huge thing.
But just here in the United States, for some reason in Mexico, people don't really celebrate that because
Really?
it was just a small battle. It wasn't something big. We just won against the French. No biggie. But it's a big festival here. But in Mexico, we have a lot of saints, and like each town will have a specific patron, and throughout the year, they have a specific day dedicated to that patron saint, and they'll throw a big party. They'll have parades and concerts, and so we're all about the party, right?
Right. That's so weird that Cinco de Mayo is not as big there as it is here.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't see everyone out shooting tequila?
No. We wouldn't do that.
No. Okay. Do you know how many Hispanics are here at ASU?
Well, last time I checked, there were around 250.
250?
Mhm.
And is it consistently growing or going up the number?
Yes, it's consistently growing, and that's due to the outreach that our organizations are, contributing to the community. OLA has reached out to various high schools, and we've reached out to deferred action applicants, which is Obama's new law, and we've been reaching out to the community.
Okay. And can you tell me how you would normally celebrate these festivals while you're here at school?
Here at school, well, since I'm 6 hours away from home, my parents are in Texarkana, so I don't have the opportunity to go back and celebrate with them. So honestly, the only festival that I have celebrated was Cinco de Mayo, and that day I just watched Mexican movies and had some chips and salsa, which isn't very Mexican, but it seems to be Mexican here. So that's how I celebrated.
Okay, so does the group OLA, do y'all usually get together and celebrate these things, or is that just more of an organization?
Well, this past month was Hispanic Heritage Month, and we went really big this year, and we had several events, and to me that was very, very positive for ASU because they're able to see all the different cultures that we have, all the different things that we're about. We're about so many different things. We had a Hispanic mixer, we had Viva la Noche, and we had movie nights, and we had study abroad programs. And
That sounds like a lot of fun. Well, thank you so much for being on the show and telling us about your experience in Mexican culture. And it was so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And we will be right back after the break.
The State Parks of Arkansas. 52 parks. 4 beautiful seasons to experience them. Sponsored by this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and your Arkansas State Parks, making beautiful memories.
Welcome back. We are here with Marcella. She's an ASU-TV student, and she's going to tell us about her experiences in Mexico and in America. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so first off, tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Mexico City, Mexico.
Okay, and when did you come here?
I came here 4 years ago.
Did you come here for school?
No, I got married, and my husband is American. He's from Jonesboro.
Okay, and so that brought you here?
Yep.
And your major's radio
Radio
TV?
TV.
Okay, what made you choose radio TV?
Well, since I was little, I was always amazed by TV in general. And then when I was in high school for like orientation, we had to go to a place that had to do with what we wanted to do. So my neighbor, she worked at a TV station. She was a producer for the 6 p.m. news. And I was there, like she let me be there while they were producing and during the show, and I just fell in love with the
loved it.
backstage. Yeah, I love directing and doing all that stuff.
What do you think you want to do like once you graduate?
Well, at first, when I came here, I wanted to direct, but I think that has changed. I like editing more now, so I want to be editing something or somewhere.
What do you think is the biggest difference between the education system in Mexico and then here in Jonesboro?
Well, in Mexico, I went to 2 different colleges. One was a private college at first, and I was paying about the same, a little bit more money than we pay here in ASU. And I felt like I wasn't learning anything. Like they were just giving us the grades, and like they wouldn't assign us any readings, not anything. So I felt like I was wasting my money.
Yeah.
So I decided to go to public school, public college, which you pay 50 cents of a peso, which is like 5 cents of a dollar, for your whole education for a year. And
For
it's
a whole
one,
year.
yeah, and it's one of the best schools, not only in the country but in the world. Like it's ranked in the U.S. News, like inside of the 100, like it's like 60 or something, international schools. So that was a very good school. It was very hard to get in, and in there I think I felt like I got a very good education. And it differs from that school to here at ASU. That was a very theoretical school. Like we learned like all the theories, we did lots of research, but we didn't have any hands-on. And in here I'm getting the opposite, all the hands-on that I can get. So I love that.
Which do you think is harder, the education system?
It was very hard in that school
At the
because
public
it was a bunch of research, and like in my last year there, I had to start my thesis to graduate, and just to present it, I had to have 80 different sources, and finding them and having to do the actual research was hard, but I enjoyed it. But I like it here better because I like being able to do stuff.
Hands-on stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, can you tell me what your perspective of America was before you came here?
Before I came here, like all I knew about America was like it was a time about when the war happened with Iraq. So we heard about that, football, American football, and like basketball. That's like about what I knew. I didn't know much. I never thought I would be living here. I was like, no, I will go to Canada first. I
Really?
traveled to Canada, yeah, and I loved it there. But yeah, once I came here, I liked it. And I think it's different like here in the South. I like it.
You like it? What's your favorite part about being in America?
I don't know, the culture, I guess, like different cultures. In Mexico, it was like, there was only like Mexican people, I guess.
Yeah.
And in here, I've met people from all over the world, just here being in college.
Yeah, I think that's what's so great about America is it's a cultural Big Bang. It's
Yeah,
everyone
It's
together.
a melting pot.
Exactly. Okay, so what are most of the questions that people ask you about Mexico?
Well, people have lots of misconceptions, so they want to know if like most of the stuff they know is true. Like, I've been asked if I was part of a gang, if like I've ever been like kidnapped, or I've never even been robbed. You know, so I mean, it's not like I've tried to make a point that it's not all like what you see in the news. Lots of people ask me if like we wear sombreros and riding horses. You know, like people have crazy ideas about what we do, but I hope like they're learning by knowing me and kind of like.
Yeah, that's good. What do you think is the biggest misconception?
I don't know. I guess people sometimes think that Mexicans are lazy, and that makes me mad because we're not. Like we work really hard, and like we like to work and we enjoy it and we want to succeed too. And like when I first got here, there was people like they wouldn't talk to me. But once they got to know me, they were like, "Oh, you're just like us. Like you're not like a weird for being Mexican or anything." So it was like at first there were some people who were kind of, but they got over it once they got to know me.
Okay, what is your favorite part of Mexico? Like the most interesting part, you think?
Well, the most interesting part is the history. Mexico has a very rich history, like from the Mayans and like all the native tribes that were there. because you can go to downtown Mexico and Mexico City, and when the Spaniards came, they didn't tore down the pyramids. They just kind of built on top of them. So now that we look back, people started the archaeologists started digging them out. So next to where our government building is, they digged out a pyramid, and it's right there next to it, and you can go visit it. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's something that we don't have here.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Or you can drive 2 hours from Mexico City and go visit the Moon Pyramid and the Sun Pyramid, and it's impressive to look at them and see them.
Yeah. Is that your favorite part, you think, about Mexico?
I think, yeah, but the culture and the history is a very rich history.
Okay. What do you think is the biggest difference between living in Mexico City and living here in Jonesboro?
One of the things I noticed is family. My husband's family is not very tight. My family is very, very tight. Every Saturday you had to go see my grandmother, or it would be a sin. You would be in trouble if you didn't go and hang out with the family.
Really?
And everyone, I have 11 cousins. All of them would be there every Saturday.
It seems like everyone says that family is a huge thing there.
It is. It's very important. And if something else, when someone is in trouble, someone's in the hospital, everyone is there. The waiting room is full of the family, because it's we care about each other so much. So if you're not there, it's you're not a good family member. Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. I didn't know that about Mexican culture.
And it's weird because in here sometimes when someone from my husband's family is in the hospital, he just calls. Oh, they're fine. It's okay. And I'm like, are you sure you don't want to go and make sure they're fine, or just be there and wait? And he's like, no, we just be in the waiting room. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm used to different.
Yeah, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for telling us about, your experiences here and there. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And we'll be right back after the break.
The State Parks of Arkansas. 52 parks. 4 beautiful seasons to experience them. Sponsored by this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and your Arkansas State Parks, making beautiful memories.